I woke to the chime of my phone's alarm and the faint scent of lavender soap drifting down the hall, as if Mom had slipped into my childhood room for one last nostalgic moment. Sunlight slanted through the blinds, painting gold bars on my comforter, but something in the air felt wrong, charged. My heart skipped. Today was the launch of our new product line, after years of toil, investment, and sleepless nights. Capital Co's streamlined platform was finally going live. I'd inherited the family business from Dad 5 years ago, guided by Mom's steady hand in finance and my own vision for tech innovation. We'd been a three-person dynasty: Mom, Dad, me. Now Dad had passed, and I'd steered the company through startups, pivots, and 3 major acquisitions. Nothing felt more important than this launch. I rolled over and swiped my phone. No notifications, odd for a Monday. No team pings, no last-minute QA flags. I swung my legs out of bed, feet hitting cold hardwood, and padded to the kitchen, humming the jingle Dad used to whistle before coffee. The house was silent. Mom never slept in on big days. Villa Rosa had always felt like home because of her presence, her laughter at breakfast, her sharp suit at board meetings, her handwritten notes in my lunchbox. I flicked the kitchen light on and saw it, a single white envelope left on the marble countertop, precisely in the center, our initials, CM, embossed in gold. My pulse ticked faster. I hesitated, then slid the envelope open and pulled out a folded sheet of paper. Mom's loopy script filled the page. "Dear Matthew, you're out of the family business. Expect a call from our lawyer. Love, Mom." My heart sank. I stood there, paper fluttering in my hand, the mug of coffee between my fingers, suddenly heavy, out of the family business. The words echoed, surreal. Was this a prank, a test? I backed up, nearly knocking over a stool. My mind ricocheted: layoffs, scandal, betrayal. I'd always known Mom was protective, but ruthless. I refolded the letter, breath caught in my chest. "Mom," I called out, voice cracking. "Mom," silence answered. I looked around, no sign of her perfume, no hum of her water filter machine, no faint click of her heels in the hallway. I stormed toward her home office at the end of the corridor, where she managed our finances and held court with our CFO. The door was shut. I rapped on it. "Mom, what's going on? Please let me in." Her muffled voice floated through the wood. "Matthew, not now." I flicked the doorknob. It turned. I paused, then pushed open the door, paper in hand like a weapon. The room was spotless, stacked financial reports, her laptop closed, orchid in a corner, but she wasn't there. I scoured the adjacent rooms: Dad's study, the library, the back deck, empty. Windows open, crisp air stirring papers on the desk. My stomach knotted. I jammed my fingers into the letter, read it again. "Expect a call from our lawyer. Legal." I pictured Mr. Sullivan, our longtime family counsel, calm and discreet. "Why law, termination, divorce of ownership, asset freeze." I swallowed. My phone buzzed, an email flagged urgent. I opened it, from Mr. Sullivan. Subject: Matthew's family business. "Matt, I've been instructed by your mother to begin succession proceedings. Please contact me immediately." My hands shook. I called the number, but it went straight to voicemail. I called again, no answer. I sat at the kitchen island, head in hands. A dozen questions spat across my mind. Was Mom unwell? Had she turned on me in grief over Dad? What could justify this? I tried to summon anger, but shock and betrayal crushed me. Heartbeat pounding. I texted my sister Lily, my half-sister, CFO, always my ally. No reply. I messaged my best friend Erin. "Emergency, call me." Silence. I opened our team Slack, no pings. Usually by now the office chatter would be alive with excitement over the launch. Instead, nothing. My stomach twisted. Something had gone terribly wrong overnight. Then I noticed my laptop, open on the kitchen table, its screen glimmering. It showed a company-wide message, scheduled for 9 a.m., streamlined platform launch, postponed due to unforeseen circumstances. Today's launch is canceled. Further notice to follow. My heart leapt. Someone had overridden my deployment plan. Streamline was dark, all my work blocked. Months of code, negotiations with partners, marketing buildup, sabotaged. My vision derailed, my reputation at stake. And at the same time, the family edict: "You're out." I snatched the laptop closed. I staggered to the fridge, yanked it open, and stared at my reflection in the stainless steel. Blood drained from my face. Was this a coordinated coup, a financial scandal, a personal vendetta? My father had taught me, trust but verify, son. Now I had neither trust nor verification. I needed allies. I needed answers. I needed to know Mom's mind. Gripped by adrenaline, I dialed her cell straight to voicemail. I called Aaron. Finally, he picked up on the second ring. Matt? Are you okay? I closed my eyes. They fired me. My mom just cut me out of our own company. His voice tightened. What? Did I hear right? Mom told you, you're out? I nodded, though he couldn't see. She left a letter. The platform launch has been canceled, and Mr. Sullivan's starting succession proceedings. He exhaled. I'm on my way. Don't move. I slammed down the phone and raced upstairs. I threw open my closet and yanked out my suit jacket, designer threads I'd bought on credit for board meetings. I yanked on my shoes, grabbed car keys. I stopped at our home's little shrine to Dad, his old camera, a framed newspaper article about the company's founding, his watch. I pressed my palm to the glass, whispering, I won't let them kill your legacy. In the garage, I jumped into my car. Engine roared. I punched the keypad to Nora Industrial Park, where our offices stood. My heart hammered. I needed to face the team, find Lily, confront Mr. Sullivan, and, most of all, confront my mother. Because nothing, no letter, no canceled launch, could break the bond we'd forged. We'd weathered recessions, buyouts, partnerships gone bad. This felt worse. Family betrayal. Lights glinted behind me as I sped away, sun descending, my future uncertain. I poured coffee into my travel mug and gripped the steering wheel. The road stretched out, and I realized this was just the start of what would be the fight of my life. Tomorrow, I'd storm the boardroom. Tomorrow, I'd demand the truth. Tomorrow, I'd prove that no one, no matter how much love or authority they wield, could write me out of the story I'd helped write. I flicked on the radio. A single lyric floated through the speakers, as if on cue, we will rise again. I slammed a hand on the wheel and whispered, damn right we will. I parked in the loading zone bay, just outside our glass-fronted office building, my hands still shaking from coffee and adrenaline. The security guard at the desk gave me a puzzled look as I swiped my badge. Ordinarily, he'd recognize me as the boss's son, but lately I'd become the guy who got fired by his mother. I kept my expression neutral as I rode the elevator to the 4th floor, each ding of the door an echo of what awaited. Outside the boardroom, I drew a deep breath, smoothed my suit jacket, and rapped on the door. A muffled "come in" from inside was all I needed. I pushed the door open. Mom sat at the head of the table, flanked by our family lawyer, Mr. Sullivan. Across from her, Lily, my business-savvy half-sister, gave me a small, worried nod, and Michael hovered by the credenza, looking conflicted. The rest of the senior leadership, sales, engineering, marketing, watched in stunned silence. Mom's eyes flicked to me. Matthew, she said, voice cool, collected. Thank you for coming. I closed the door behind me. I need to know what's going on, I said, leveling my gaze at her. Why this letter? Why cancel Streamline? Why fire me? She exhaled, pursed her lips. I never wanted to do this in front of everyone. She tapped the envelope on the table. I thought it'd be simpler, cleaner. We know how you feel about family meetings. I fought the urge to lunge across the table. You never explained. You just served me an eviction notice from my own company. Lily slid into the empty chair beside me, placing a hand on my arm. Matt, please. I held up a hand to stop her. Mom, I've spent the weekend piecing this puzzle together. I found the board minutes in the archive. You quietly removed my voting rights at the last meeting. You froze my share dividends. You told the investors I was on sabbatical. You even changed the deployment schedule for Streamline. Michael frowned. She had to. You weren't present. I stood, voice shaking. Present. I'm the visionary behind every product we launched since Dad passed. Streamline is my legacy. Our legacy. You didn't fire me. You tried to erase me. Mr. Sullivan cleared his throat. Matthew, please, let's keep this civil. I turned on him. And you, our family lawyer, signed off on it without asking me. That's collusion, plain and simple. Mom's hands curled into fists. I was protecting you from yourself. Protecting me? I laughed bitterly. From what? From failure? You drove me out because Streamline's automated billing module cut our top line? Because my vision scared you? Lily rose, voice fierce. That's not fair. She acted under advice. I looked to her, surprised. Advice? From whom? Mr. Sullivan opened a file. From me, Miss Clark. If Matthew didn't step aside, we risked losing our investor covenants. The bank was threatening a margin call. I exhaled. So you all preferred to ditch the son rather than fight for his product? The room went silent. My chest tightened. Then I pulled a second envelope, my own, and laid it next to Mom's. All heads pivoted. Mom's voice cracked. What is that? I slid it open, extracted a deed of share transfer. Matthew Clark, 85% of Capital Co Technologies. Gasps. Lily's jaw dropped. Michael's eyes widened. Even Mr. Sullivan checked his glasses. I continued. I told no one, not even Dad. Over the past year, I've quietly reclaimed shares, family, friends, public float, and consolidated my ownership through shell entities. I hold 85% of the voting power. I own Streamline. I own the launch. I own this company. Mom's face hardened, then crumpled. You can't. I met her gaze. I already did. That letter you left on my counter, worthless. I tapped Mom's envelope. I'm still here. I'll still run this place. But today, we talk honestly about family and business. You can't push me out again. Lily sank back in her chair. Matt, I had no idea. Michael's voice was quiet. I thought you didn't care. I shook my head. I cared more than you could imagine. But I learned I needed control before you took it all away. Uncle Joe stepped forward, voice trembling. Son, we're sorry. I turned back to Mom. Are you sorry too? Tears welled in her eyes. She stood, crossing the table to me. Matthew, I'm so sorry. I thought I was saving the family, but I nearly destroyed it. I swallowed, emotions swirling. What now? She glanced at Mr. Sullivan. He opened his mouth, then shook his head. I think we negotiate. As a family and shareholders. I nodded. Agreed. On one condition, Streamline launches on schedule. We hit the market by tomorrow midnight. No more vetoes. Mom extended her hand. Deal. I reached out and squeezed it. Around the table, heads nodded. The tension thawed into relief, then into the buzz of planning. Lily on communications, Michael on operations, Mr. Sullivan redrafting governance, the exec team lining up the launch pipeline. By 6 p.m., we'd restored my role, reactivated Streamline's deployment, and restructured the board, this time with Mom, Lily, Michael, and me as equals. As I left the boardroom, the city lights glimmered through floor-to-ceiling windows. For the first time all weekend, I felt the warm echo of family, not just by blood, but by battle. I glanced at Mom's empty chair, then at my own shares in the deed, 85% of Capital Co. I'd fought for my legacy, and now I'd safeguard it for all of us. That night, as the countdown to launch began, I replayed the family meeting in my mind. They called me worthless, and I gave them back a company they could finally be proud of. Tomorrow we'd prove that no one can fire the heart of a family, and that sometimes, the greatest power lies in knowing when and how to reclaim it.